I have some of the smartest subscribers on YouTube. They would never pay these outrageous pre-release prices for these new Paldea Evolve cards. But if you're new to our little group here, well, subscribe and fix that first of all. And today's video, I'm going to be showing you my Paldea Evolve buy list, so you buy just the right cards and don't end up with a playset of Quackleballs or Skeledirges. First, we're going to go over these staples, and kicking us off, we have 4 Iono. Iono is the best card in this set, hands down. Being able to not only be a solid consistency supporter in the early game, being able to shuffle and draw 6, but in the late game, putting your opponent down to 1 or 2 cards is just incredibly powerful for coming back. And now we're going to have Artisan, which is another very powerful stadium card that you'll want a 4 count of. Being able to search for a basic Pokemon on your turn that does not have a rule box is going to be great for any evolving deck. Lost Sandbox is going to love it. And I mean, as time goes on, this card's just going to get better. Make sure you have 4 copies of Artisan. Some veteran players might already have this card, and that's Super Rod. Super Rod is just being able to recover Pokemon energy cards, always incredibly strong. We didn't have an item-based Pokemon recovery card in the current standard format, so a Lost Sandbox, pretty much every deck is going to be playing this card, in very few exceptions to that rule. So make sure you pick up 3 copies of Super Rod if you don't have it already. And another old card that got reprinted is Superior Energy Retrieval. It's a bit older from Plasma Freeze, which not a whole lot of people have at this point. That's just gotten really rare, but Superior Energy Retrieval is going to be great in those Chin Pow decks, but just as a great energy recovery card, being able to discard 2 cards from your hand and fill up with 4 energy from your discard pile. Now we get some cool special energies. Luminous Energy is just such an awesome card for the game, making so many more cool strategies possible, and as time goes on and the format gets wider, this card is only going to get better, so make sure you have 4 of those for your binder. And another card that's going to get stronger as the format gets wider is Reversal Energy. Being able to, reminiscent of Counter Energy, it works on an evolved Pokemon without a rule box. It counts for 3 of any type of energy. So immediately this will be good in Gardevoir, good to slap on a Luxray. But as more good evolution gets printed, this card's just going to get better and better. And our last special energy is Jet Energy. This is Lost Sandbox, one of Lost Sandbox's biggest prizes from this set. Being able to just put it on a bench config, yeet it into the active spot, and be able to retreat it all in one attachment is really good. Being able to cheat on some counts in your decks. I don't think Sablezard or Turbo will be running it, but some builds like Gudra or Giratina will definitely appreciate Jet Energy. So make sure you pick up 4 of those. I have only 1 Squawkabilly on this list. You definitely could go up to 2, but 1 is, I think, is essential. Most decks that do not mind discarding cards and have a lot of ball search will be using that. Just being able to discard your hand, draw 6 on the first turn of the game is incredibly strong. And then we have 1 Luxray. You could definitely go up to 2 on this one, depending on how much of a believer you are in this tech card. But I only have 1 for now. It's going to be nice in strategies like, I've seen it in Gardevoir, Lugia, Lost Sandbox. Just being able to one-shot Lugia, you can just place it down for free if you're behind on prizes, so Luxray is definitely going to make an impact. 1 or 2 copies is all that is necessary. And then now we have the cool Chin Pow Baxcalibur. This is like the best new deck coming out of Paldea Evolved. So I have 3 Baxcaliburs, 3 Chin Pows, and I prefer the 60 HP Frigibax, so if you're picking up those Frigibax too, make sure you get the 60 HP ones. The 1 retreat's a bit more versatile than the 10 HP in my opinion. Chin Pow is just an awesome one-shot attacker, and it has consistency built in with the card being able to search for water energies. You have all the amazing water support cards like Irida, Origin Form Palkia, Radiant Greninja, so this deck is going to be top tier right away. And to close out the staples, we have 4 Charms of Courage. Just being able to help out all basic decks, being able to beef up their attackers. As long as there's good basic Pokemon, Charm of Courage will stay relevant. Now into the more fringe stuff. So if you believe in these decks, you can pick up these cards, or they definitely have potential, so you can pick up anyway. First, we have all the Unity Wings Pokemon, Flamigo, Murkrow, and Watchel. It's hard to envision these cards seeing too much success with Lost Sandbox being such a viable deck, but perhaps when when Lost Origin gets rotated here in a couple years, Unity Wings will finally be freed. I have 2 Yakumos on this list. You definitely could bump this up higher if you'd like. It's hard to see this, unless Sander proves us all wrong and NAIC and builds a busted control deck. It's hard to see where Yakumo has a home right now. To be able to discard all those special energies, though, is just so incredibly powerful. So this card obviously has potential, just don't know where yet. So get a couple of these, throw them in your binder, you'll thank me later. For Tinglu, you might be sort of surprised to see this in the fringe tier. I just don't see Tinglu being consistent enough to be in that top meta staples tier. I do think it will be like a tier 2. I do think it does have potential, don't get me wrong, but Fighting is not necessarily the greatest type to beat. I know you're hitting Arceus for weakness, but they can of course cancel that out with Dunsparce. I know you can cancel that out back. It's kind of awkward, but only 150 damage is not great. And I don't know, Tingluge is just okay. It might just be a couple cards away from being truly busted BDIF tier, but pick a couple up. It's just a pretty solid card. I have 3 Noivern EX. I do like Noivern as a card. If you just thought it only has potential in a Regidrago deck, then you definitely could go down to just 1 copy. But I do think Noivern has some chance as a standalone deck, but if you don't believe that, then you don't have to. Just Covert Flight is just so powerful into Chin-Pao decks, so not rocking Palkia. And then Dominant Echo is just awesome with Path to the Peak. It just shuts down a lot of meta decks right now. I have 2 Wo-Chen. I'm a Wo-Chen believer. If you watch the channel lately, you know I've made a couple Wo-Chen decks. I have 2 on here. I feel like it's going to be hard for it to be a standalone attacker in a grass deck. More on Fortress EX in just a bit. But I do think it has, I think it can be splashed in Lost Sandbox, or if ever grass becomes super viable, I think that Wo-Chen is going to at least pop up in a 1 or 2 count in that. And finally, we have 1 Spiritomb. Spiritomb has a very short shelf life. As soon as Vs are gone, or powerful V abilities are gone, a Spiritomb goes with them. So it's obviously awesome at shutting down Genesect. It's just another Mew counter card. Also can shut off the ability of a Slacking V, Drapion V. So just a pretty solid card to have around. And then finally, the cards that have obvious potential, but it's hard. There's going to need a few things to happen before they're super relevant. So just buy these, put them in your binder, and you'll thank me later. And first, we have 3 Pelipper's, and the ability is amazing. Be able to search your deck for a supporter card or one from the discard pile. It's a very unique ability that's awesome, but it's just hard to see a card like this succeeding in a format with Lost Sandbox. I know there's engines like Barrel, but if I drop a Pelipper, it's not going to help me get out of an Iono, but where I can put that down payment on that Barrel, and if I put Iono's me, I can just refill my hand instantly. So it's hard to see Pelipper succeeding right now, but I do think one day it'll get his chance to shine. I have Chi-Yu on this list as well. Pick up a couple of Chi-Yus. I just think Chi-Yu Firebox is interesting with Armor Rouge and all the other Luminous Energy attackers. I think it's still missing a little bit before it's super meta viable. Another deck that sort of struggles with single prizers, but I think that it has a chance to be successful, so picking up a couple Chi-Yus is probably not a bad idea. 3 Fortress EX. I think Fortress is awesome. It's one of my favorite new cards from this set, and it doesn't really have a great attacker to go with it right now. Being able to accelerate 5 energies is awesome, but with only really Wo-Chen or Regidrago to load up, don't really have a whole lot to mess around with. But as the format expands and we get more grass Pokemon, Fortress, I do believe we'll see some competitive play eventually. I have Mimikyu in the binder tier here, a couple copies of Mimikyu. It's hard to see Mimikyu seeing a whole lot of success in this current standard format as is, because pretty much every deck has a natural answer. So as the format goes on though, and more sets get printed, there are new decks that don't have a way to get through Mimikyu. I think it will eventually see some play. Maybe in some controlling deck in the current format, we could see Mimikyu succeed, but there's not really a deck that's just only Vs and EXs that's not gonna be able to hit through Mimikyu at all. That's a entirely meta viable deck, so hard to see Mimikyu succeeding right now, but definitely one day. And to close out the binder tier, we have 4 Meowscarada EX. The ability is awesome, being able to discard an energy from your hand and ping up your opponent's bench Pokemon. There's not a whole lot to go with it beyond that. Being in stage 2 is kind of cruddy right now, just how fast the format is. So it might take a couple rotations before Meowscarada is really able to shine. But I think it has a potential one day. If there's small Pokemon, a small evolving Pokemon running around, then I think Meowscarada will eventually see some play. But in my opinion, not right now. So here's my full buy list right here. Screenshot it. I'll post it on my community tab too, so y'all can get it there. If you want to buy any of these cards for yourself, you better use my TCG player link in the description down below. It is an affiliate link, so I do get a little bit of a commission from any purchases you do make. So if you want to support the channel, you like this kind of content, that's the best way you can do it. So I appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end of this video. And what do you think of my buy list? Did I miss anything? Am I overestimating anything? Underestimating anything? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want to see a different kind of Paldea Evolve list, like a tier list, how about you check out my Paldea Evolve tier list video right here? And you better do it because the video's over. So go and do it, or I'll be very upset.